What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly recap. This is the Dazed and Confused Week 10 edition of the weekly recap. And let's get right to it, shall we? Let's go. Top six are as follows. We have Devin getting the 1 spot, Tony keeping the 2, Phil the 3, Mateo the 4, Finn holds on to the 5, and Josh in the 6, who I think that might be Josh's first top 6 in a while. Brian has fallen out. Where is he? 7. So he's still in the conversation, but interesting. Interesting start there. Let me make this a little smaller, and let's get the recapping, fellas. Now I cop an L here to Mateo. It's a tough one, rivalry week, and he just scores 148, man. That's just not good points against. It's hard to win there. Is 120 definitely top half scoring? So yeah, Mateo's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm fifth in scoring again. L. While I'm seeing Josh with 107 get a W. Devin with 116 getting a W. Oh my God, these are so disappointing. Damn it. But you know, Mateo's win comes in the form of CD Lamb. No one gets below 7.3, don't get me wrong. But not a lot of like 20-point performances. Like everyone gets their double digits, which are great performances still. But the monster performance is CD Lamb. Just I lose by what, 27.4, I think. The difference between CD Lamb and Calvin Ridley is 31. So everyone else collectively scores around the same amount of points. Just that monster difference of my lowest and his best is all it takes, man. That's huge. Both play the same position too. Have some Jesus Tyson. Have some relevance. Uh Sam Howell, Brian Robinson, Donta Foreman, people who were questioning about starting, all go off. I don't know what Calvin Ridley is, but fuck it, Davis. So he still might be getting role. We just need to find out what the fuck the Jacksonville Jaguars are. What are they? What is that team? Jesus Christ. Good win for Mateo, though. Puts him in a prime playoff spot with 4 weeks left. Next, we have Tony versus Brian. And Brian gets the L here. Again, monster performance. Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow get some huge performances to add to that. And then after that, everyone else just kind of hovers. Jonathan Taylor has a great game, of course. Cairo Santos, great kicker game. Good defensive start. But then, like Kyle Pitts, Gus Edwards. Didn't he have a touchdown with 9.3? He did. So, Gus Edwards, some inefficient running. Hollywood Brown had a bad week, but I mean, gets the dub. I mean, what else do you need? Huge game for Tony. Brian's L comes in the form of a bad kicker start, Terry McLaurin having a tough one, Chuba having a tough one. He was thinking about starting James. Oh, wait, no, he did. He flexed James Conner over. I mean, it's not winning him the matchup. So good win for Tony. Good win for Tony. Brian falls to 500, so he needs to right the ship if his playoff hopes are still alive. The ugliest matchup of the week: Greg versus Mark. I've been very adamant that Greg is the worst team in the league, having Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, which are like actually Patrick being eighth is kind of surprising, but Travis Kelce is surely tight end one. Well, tight end two. What? Interesting, but yeah, Greg loses. Uh, no one even goes fucking off on Mark's team. Bijan, Garrett Wilson getting. Did he get a touchdown? No. See, 13 off work. Garrett Wilson is doing better than I thought. Don Kincaid, the double tight end start is kind of ugly. He loses Madison, who probably won't play this week either. What is Puka Nakua? Yeah, this is an interesting team. But Mark wins by 20 here because that's how bad Greg is. Gerald Everett put up a goose egg. Miles Sanders, Tyler Bass both have 2 apiece. Yeah, Greg is the worst team in the league. What a heartbreak for Austin here as Phil wins it on Monday night with I think it's like a 33 point performance from his Broncos, which is fucking insane. Um, Phil wins despite starting Will Levis, who had a tough week. Derrick Henry, who had a tough week, but everyone else carried the load. Debo came back, got a double-digit point performance. TJ Hawkinson, lovely tight end, does great there. Javonte Williams, who seems to be a steal in the draft. I'll be honest there. Very good pick for him. Yeah, huge week. The defense and kicker, I'm starting to have this ideology of fantasy that defense and kicker automatically are a good baseline for the week. You get you get double digits from both of them and you're looking like very good because those are not usually high. I guess kicker is now a high scoring position with our new rules, but like getting high scoring defensively, especially that the Ravens lost, they gave up 33 points and we still have 13 here is fucking insane. Phil gets a win here, goes to 7-3. What a bounce back from last year, man. Definitely, I think it's a winning streak too. I'll look into that. Um, Next we have Vinny versus Josh, and Vinny gets another L here. It's on the Cooper Cup bye week. He's about to get A Chain back, so maybe it helps. But like, why is he still running Curtis Samuel? Saints defense against Minnesota, not a terrible start if you didn't believe in Dobbs, but you should have. You should have believed in Dobbs. Speaking of Dobbs, 27 over here for Josh. Huge week for Josh. Saquon Barkley is getting just dogpiled by defensive linemen everywhere. Rashad White is still carrying the load. Like, this is someone who I'm a little surprised on. Yeah, in the last 4 weeks is just gone apeshit. Interesting. The receivers, did he have AJ Brown on bye? Yeah, Josh withstands the AJ Brown bye and gets a win here, 107.82. Good win for Josh, gets him to 500. Vinny would have loved to have been 500 here, but sucks to suck, huh? And Devin gets a win here from a 42 piece from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is gone on the run against Finn, who used to be Mr. Dak Prescott. That's insane. Etienne finally doesn't have 2 touchdowns and looks inefficient. Alvin Kamara does his thing. Deontay Johnson has a slump after a big week, but the Sun God, Amon Ra gets 26. Dak gets 41. Combined, what do we have? Like 67 out of his 116 he scored. Yeah, dude, huge fucking week from those two, and that's enough to get him the win. Overall from Finn's team too, like performed pretty well besides the Packers defense and D Hop. Like you couldn't have asked for much more. Like pretty solid performance. You're not gonna start Elijah Moore confidently over D Hop. Would have won him the week if he lost by 11. No, it would not have won him the week. So it's just a tough one. It's a tough L, especially because Devin is now clinched with that win, and I fucking hate it. Also, Devin, I know you watch these too. You've had the worst fantasy names all year, dude. I don't care that you have like custom pictures that you make with all these. These are horrible names. Like every single one. The Palmer dip one, like that was horrendous. I'm glad that one's gone. This one's not any better though. Talking shit leading to this matchup. It's the Devin and I matchup. Devin's gonna be without Alvin Kamara. I'm gonna be without Michael Thomas. Oh no. He replaces he replaces Alvin Kamara with Jerome Ford, my own ball of sunshine. He doesn't get to play Kyron Cameron suiting up next week. That's so fucking annoying. And he gets a kicker start. So projections would give it to Devin, but that's to me is horseshit. I don't know how you could say Adam Thielen has been better than Amari Cooper these last few weeks. Adam Thielen is like averaging 8, while Amari is kind of finding himself. He's got his quarterback playing well now. Look at these Amari Cooper weeks, man. Like we're getting double digits off work, and then the touchdown week's a blow up week. So I'm not fucking with these. Everyone also, I want to advertise Devin's newer website. I want to advertise this. Devin has some really cool stats. I'll put it in the chat. Like you could get like our season stats from a date range. You could he added some cool shit with power. If you see, I think I have the worst luck. Yeah. Yeah, I do. In our league's history. Let's can I check in the last 3 years? Like my points against. Yep, here I am with Phil, who had the worst points against of all time last year. And I'm right behind him. I'm not even that far off. This is horrendous. Another year I'm 4-6 through 10. So yeah, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. But the Devin and I head to head, let's go check that out. I am actually curious of what Devin and I's matchup has been. You know, off the top of my head, I don't think I've had that big of a matchup with Devin. 6-3. How's it been recently? We've split our last four, so it's mostly me early on, and then we split our last four. Like, look at these. These are so cool. These are like Devin's new website. I'll put a link in the chat. This is so nice. I'm gonna start using these more. I have the history. Let's see. Is there anything cool to look at here? Devin this season. Me over average scores. Oh, that's Devin. That's funny. This is actually really cool to look at, man. Wait, what? I have higher points for, lower points against, and I'm still lower. Son of a bitch. The fuck? It's actually so funny, man. Fantasy is a bitch. I give the edge to Devin, but I easily can pull this out, man. Don't sleep. Uh, we got Greg versus Tony again. Greg is the worst team in the league. Wow, I did shit on Greg. He's gonna get Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes back, so projections are just that bullshit. They're always bullshit, but it's especially bullshit here. He gets Ayuk back as well. Tony, any big buys? Kyle Pitts, no. So no. I give the edge to Tony based off that, but you know, let's see these guys' history, huh? Greg, Tony. What do we got? We got Greg leading the way. Interesting. Greg winning 3 of 4, but Tony winning the most recent matchup. Apparently have just really low scores against each other. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, they do. Holy shit, these are disgusting. Okay, I still give the edge to Tony. But I mean, Greg has the history, and Greg's getting these players back. It could be Greg too. We'll see. Everyone who's 4-6 with me, like Mark, are fighting for their fucking seasons. 500, so 7-7 in 14 weeks is kind of where the playoff. Like after 7 losses, it's the kiss of death. We have 4 weeks left. You want to be 3-1 if you're 4-6. So Mark needs this bad, and this does not help. He's not favored at any position. He has Bijan on bye, his #1 overall draft pick. He's not trusting Puka here. It's like maybe he is because he hasn't made a change yet. This is just it's scary days for Mark. Getting your 7th loss with 3 weeks left is not what you want to do. Now obviously Mark loves the history of this league since he dominated so early. Let's go look at that. Just boost his ego. Yeah, including a win in a championship game. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they don't have the exact game. What does it show here? It shows even the projection. Devin, this is dope. Wow, shits on him everywhere. So yeah, Mark has all the history over Phil. Does Phil have a recent win? He did win 2 straight in 2020, 2021. But then they played twice in 2022, and Phil got smoked, both of them. Goddamn. So Phil, let's get this get back here. No big bye weeks for Phil either. So it's just full strength Phil. See what happens to Mark here. I go Phil as the edge. Vinny versus Austin. Wow. Um, Vinny loses Pittman, but he gains Cup. Defense and kicker he needs. He doesn't have any of those, so projections are not going to be accurate. But even with the starters, they give a lot of the edge to Austin here. Austin, kind of already out of it, just kind of trying to play spoiler for anyone else. His team's not that bad, so it kind of sucks that what he's going through here. But you know, whatever, man. Vinny fighting for his life. Let's see what this head-to-head looks like. Boom, boom. Bam, bam. Is Austin having the edge with the one playoff matchup being the differentiator? And if I recall this correctly, this is a championship game. Where Vinny had lost. Andrew Luck was in the lineup. Justin Davis. See, this is fun. I like looking at this, like watching Vinny start Kalen Balazs in the championship game. Dude, this is actually hilarious. Melvin Gordon, Tariq Cohen were on a champ. He had Baker on his championship team. This is, I love memory lane like that. That shit is fun. Edge goes to Austin. Vinny fighting for his life. Let's see if he can pull it through. This one's gonna be a huge matchup. Josh versus Mateo. Josh, honestly, these are pretty even teams, and Josh doesn't even have his new defense in yet. Projections have him pretty even. What's the history between these two? Josh doesn't have a lot of history in his side, but does he here? No, not great. 2-7, lost the last two matchups. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see their most recent matchup. Tom Brady, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Juju, Cordero Patterson. Yeah, these are gonna be fun to look at. Josh has made one playoff appearance, so and already has more playoff wins than Mateo. This is good. I like looking at this, Seven. You've hit with this matchup page. Uh, you know the history's in Mateo's side. This matchup's gonna be really close. Both coming off a win, both coming off of good performances. Um, with the bye weeks, of Olave and Ramondre, I think I give the edge, even though they still have projections over to Mateos because they projected his fucking receivers to get 35 total, which is insane. Josh have more reasonable projections because AJ Brown's a top receiver too. He's got to be like wide receiver too. Yeah, and how he's not projected that much against Kansas City. It's a little interesting. I give the edge to Josh because these are two big bye weeks for Mateo. Last but not least, we got Brian versus Finn. Let's go check this immediately. We got Brian with the head to head over Finn, including last year's playoff matchup where he eliminated Finn. Um it wasn't a championship game, right? No. Because I think our championship game is week 17 now. Oh, it might be actually. I actually don't know. Bear with me, I want to check this. I do. I thought Devin was last year's champion. Lost in the championship. Oh, it was Tony. So yeah, Brian beat Finn in the semis last year. Interesting. So semifinal rematch. Both at 5-5, trying to make each other go 5-6. Projections have them close. They have their starters in. This is gonna be an interesting one. Um, the history gives it to Brian. The matchup, any big bye weeks? Raheem Shaheed. No big bye weeks. So it's just seeing what these guys can do. Wow. Who'd I get the edge to here? I think I give it to Finn. Finn is skidding, but so is Brian. Let's see. I don't know. This one's tough. I give the edge to Finn here. But yeah. Before I go, let's do something fun. Let's just check. I don't know. Mark's win percentage since 2020. It's like Mark's not that bad. Mark's better than me. And I won in 2020. Son of a bitch. Son of a fucking bitch. My points against though that bad? Let's not include my championship year yet. Second to last. That is horrendous. Um, is Mark getting some? Mark halfway through. Vinny the luckiest. Interesting, because Vinny did win in 2021. Let's this not include that. And then the last two seasons, it's been Devin who's been the luckiest. Which I do want to point out, which is like 24 games, I think this is total. Having a points against of 23, which is less than 100 a matchup, is insane. Especially because I'm at 25, 200 more points. What? What? This is so interesting. Yeah, I like looking at this. I'll start looking at these and maybe point out some cool stuff during the recap next week. I'll put the link to the new website in the chat as well. Hope y'all liked this episode, and I will see y'all next week. All right, peace, fellas.